ladies and gentlemen, everybody in between and beyond. My name is Jordy Coleman. You can call me Ginger Wolf, and welcome to another episode of Prominence Poker. As I'm sure any of you who are familiar with... Ooh, that's a bad hand. We're just going to fold that right away. For any of you who is familiar, I have not had a whole lot of luck in playing poker for this channel. I have lost a ton of money. Actually, truth be told, this past year, horrible luck playing poker all the frickin' time, including games that I've played with my friends, everything. So I figured for my last episode of September, let's see if we can get a little bit of a redemption arc, shall we? Now that everything's kind of cooled off and I finished Papers, Please and everything, how are you fine folks doing? By all means, leave your comments in the chat. I thought while I'm playing here, because there's not really a whole lot to commentate on, I thought maybe I would tell a few stories about my family. Some of these stories are a little on the older side, actually quite a bit on the older side, but I figured I'd tell a few stories, a few of my favorite stories about my mom and my grandfather. Let's start with the man who was my very first hero and still is my hero, my grandfather. This is one of my favorite stories to tell about him, and so my grandfather, very, very, very rich life, like not rich as in wealthy, he definitely wasn't that, but a lot of experiences in his life and a lot of cool things. Now, for those of you, ooh, that's a good hand. For those of you who are, you know, relatively young, shit, even in your 30s, I'm in my 30s too, but even in your 30s you might not fully be aware of this, but computers used to be very, very large. Very, very large. My grandfather was actually the building inspector for the government of Alberta, which is the province I live in. That's something we want to see. He was a building inspector for the building that housed the very first computer for the government of Canada. This was a big building. The damn computer took up 4 stories. 4 goddamn stories of the building. It's not an exaggeration at all. And it was almost pushed all the way to the frickin' windows. And this was for a computer that was barely more powerful than a frickin' calculator. And although my grandfather passed away before smartphones and whatnot were a big, big thing, I often reflect on that and wonder how crazy, how much would his mind have been blown working on that building to today, where you can literally get a phone that is like the size of a pack of cigarettes, smaller than the size of a pack of cigarettes. Now for a little story about my mom. My mom was an absolutely angel of a woman. I don't want to see any more spades or clubs, please. Oh, there's 2 2s there. I did not notice that. My mom was an absolute angel of a woman. Just to give you a quick little synopsis of like how I grew up and everything like that. My father left when I was about 6 months old, leaving me and my sister. My sister's 8 years older than me. Okay, huh? What are the chances he has 2? I'm willing to bet somebody here has the 2. Even though ace is a very powerful pair, let's not play games. I had the winning hand. Son of a bitch. I should have called that. Oh well. Anyway, my father left when I was about 6 months old, leaving my mom in the care of my sister, or the care of my sister and myself to my mom. And it is only now, in hindsight, that I actually understand the level of the struggle my mom had in raising us. Because to me, when it's your family, it's your shit. You don't realize things are different. And my mom had 5 jobs to take care of me and my sister. 5 fucking jobs. Like, the only person that I've ever heard coming close to that was Chris Rock's father. And on top of that, my mom, I never felt like I was neglected or anything like that. So that goes to tell you. Now, granted, yes, all of them were pretty much part-time jobs. We'll refer to them as such. My mom, she delivered newspapers. She was the lunchroom supervisor at the school directly across the street. She was the... I don't like this. We're going to fold that. She was the... I'm just going to turn that down a little. Yeah, I had a king too. Don't be so uppity, up your own ass about it. Anyway, but she was also the landlord or the manager of the apartment building that we lived in. But when people would move out, she would also do the cleaning for the apartments. Because for those of you who don't know, most landlords don't actually get paid to do their job. Basically, normally they just get a break on rent, which kind of does make sense. I mean, you know, what would the money mostly be going to anyway? Yeesh, this is not a good hand for me. But we'll check because nobody seems to be doing anything. But that being said, no, I'm good. Thank you very much. So she would clean to make extra money when people would move out. She would clean apartments for people. And that was actually really cool because that was actually technically my first job, was helping her do cleaning, because we didn't have money for me to have an allowance, so I had to make money in other ways. And I was far too young for prostitution. And to be fair, not good looking enough. But that being said, the other thing my mom did is she was also the phone and cable representative. This was before internet. She was also the phone and cable representative in the building, so that when people were moving in, she could actually get them signed up on a contract for phone and cable. If you want to fucking talk about never stop hustling, I guarantee you my mom probably could have wrote the book. At least read the book for sure. Anyway, so that gives you a little bit of an idea of the type of person my mom was, but my mom also did not really take a lot of shit from people. Very, like... she just didn't. Which, how she got together with my father, I have no idea, because my father was a very heavy drinking sumbitch. Very, how can I put this into a nice sense? Rural? From every interaction that I've had with my father, he very much seemed like a hillbilly. You know what I mean? Hillbilly? Seem about right. Yeah. No, I'm good, thank you. Sorry, I got distracted by my phone. Which is another reason why I don't like to play poker at casinos. Because they don't let you have phones, because you could be cheating. You know, they don't know. You know what I think? I think you're actually just a bully, my friend. So it's my personal mission to actually get you out of this tournament. Whew. Now, if this was real life, I'd go all in on this. But it's not real life. This is a game. It has an algorithm. So I have a feeling if I try to go all in, it's going to fuck me. Either that or everybody's going to fold. So we're going to play this a little more coy. Like the fish. Anyway, so my mom was, she was a dog breeder. My whole family, to be completely honest, just absolutely loves dogs. Like, we're the type of people, we're driving down the street, walking down the street, whatever, and we see somebody, like, hit a dog or something. We will chastise you for that. And if you try to turn around and be like, go mind your own fucking business, well, you're going to learn very fast how that dog felt. Just being honest. So, my mom was a dog breeder, very avid dog breeder. And, I can't remember what the breed of the dog was that she had this particular time. But it was one of those really, 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 really long-haired dogs that looked kind of like a mop. And this asshole sitting there petting this dog right after my mom had just groomed the dog. There we go. I knew you were trying to pull some shit, you asshole. My mom's sitting there and she just groomed this dog. And I tell you, you don't know, like, if you think just giving your dog a bath is kind of a pain, wow, I'm getting good hands right now. Holy jeez. If you think just giving your dog a bath is a pain in the ass, try grooming your dog to the point that they're ready to be in a show. That's going to be a little... That's going to take a little while. And you're going to be putting in a lot of elbow grease on that. So this person's petting my mom's dog. It wasn't her dog, it was somebody else's dog. My mom was just taking it to the show for them. And the person's petting the dog, and petting the dog, and petting the dog, and petting the dog. And my mom's just getting more and more annoyed. And it was a short-tailed dog. And this person's petting the dog and doing the whole, who's a good boy, who's a good boy, who's a good boy, who's a good boy. That kind of thing. And then finally the guy turns to my mom and goes, where are its eyes? I can find its nose, but where its eyes? My mom goes, on the other end. So my mom actually used to show dogs with my uncle, her younger brother, and they would drive around. They had a van, and for the most part, my mom would breed um, Sammies or Samoyeds. Basically, for all intents and purposes, they look like they're baby polar bears. And but they also had a friend, and unfortunately, their friend had become disabled, so they couldn't show their dog anymore. Oh, hang on a second. Three of a kind. Nice. Lovely. Let's refill the table. So, they would travel around with their dog. Well, their dog was a gnarly bulldog. When I say a gnarly bulldog, it was the type of bulldog that sits there and just grunts all the time. Like it looks like the Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prime. It looks like Terry Crews as a dog, or Sylvester Stallone, because Sylvester Stallone's fucking jacked. Jesus, that kind of thing. Is an absolutely insanely buff dog. But it literally, just walking, it would grunt because it was so muscle bound. Just now, here's the thing with bulldogs that, and this is, I say this story to people simply because I find it very important. Three of a kind odd aces. Well, you fulfilled my personal mission, so thank you very much for that. This guy looks like the Penguin. That's not bad. We'll call on that. Let's see. The guy sitting right there, he kind of looks like Dale Gribble in retirement age. You just straight up look like a mafia hitman. And you, I got nothing for you. Anyway. Excuse me. Something a lot of people don't know about bulldogs is if you have a bulldog, because of their short snout, they're prone to breathing problems. Well, on top of those breathing problems, they can get a phlegm buildup in their throat that's just really gnarly. Now, there is a simple way of... Actually, he kind of looks like a cross between Dale Gribble and... Mike Armentrout from Breaking Bad. Anyway. But when they have a phlegm buildup, there's a very simple way of fixing it. And this actually, maybe this could save a life, because a lot of people aren't aware that the thing that works really well on cutting phlegm is sodium. It's literally just like a throw it down the throat kind of thing, and it'll kind of just suck it all up, because that's what sodium does. It just sucks up moisture. Mediocre hand, but let's stay in this just to see what happens. So one day, this dog's basically having essentially an asthma attack. So of course they're traveling in this van. They pull the van over. My mom goes to deal with the dog. Of course, they don't have salt on them, so he runs to a restaurant that's like right across the street, grabs a salt shaker off the table. No idea what they were thinking about when they see this guy randomly running in and grab. Oh, I need this for a second. Running out with a salt shaker. Weirdest dine and dash ever. But he comes in, does the salt thing. Well, of course, a crowd had gathered because right by a restaurant and everything like that. And all of a sudden, my uncle starts dancing around. And my mom doesn't know what the hell's going on. So he starts undoing his pants. We'll call because it's 300. So, and then looks at my mom. Yeah, no, I'm out. Thank you. Looks at my mom and goes, "No." Not taking his pants off in front of his sister. So he turns around. There's a crowd behind him. Can't take his pants off still. So he reaches in his pocket and flips his pocket inside out. And sitting on the ground was a book of matches just smoldering. Somehow from him running and stuff like that, the book of matches had ignited in his pocket. Oh, hang on a second. Hey, sorry about that, folks. Just had an important phone call come in. But, so yeah, just little random stories tonight. Nothing too crazy. Oh, I can tell. I think I may have told this one on another Actually, I think I may have told the last one on another poker game, but based off of the views, not many people have watched those, so let's tell the story again. So, my grandfather, he was in the military. This is my favorite military story that he has. No, I'm going to bow out of this one. I mean, I got a jack, which is nice. But anyway, he was in the military and during World War II. And he was an engineer. And his brother also joined the military the year after he joined, because my grandfather joined the military when he was 17. Which, yes, he lied about his age, and of course it was much easier to lie about your age back in those days. Especially because they were so desperate, they needed people, so it was like, you're 18, you're still wearing a diaper, whatever, you're 18, you know. So my grandfather joined the military, and his brother, who was a year younger than him, joined the military next year. And my grandfather was an engineer, and when I say that, a lot of people think he was a train driver. He was not a train driver. An engineer is somebody who builds things, essentially. Which worked out well for my grandfather, because he was not huge on guns. He was a very, very, very good shot. Just didn't have an appreciation for guns. Now, and to demonstrate the fact that he had an he was a very good shot, he actually taught my uncle how to shoot. And what my grandfather did is, my uncle would tell the story. And one day I finally asked him, I'm like, but he didn't own a gun, so where did he get the gun from? And he's like, oh my God, I have no idea. And by that point, my grandfather had passed away, so none of us knew where he had got this gun. The assumption is he borrowed it from a friend. But my headcanon is that there was like somebody trying to rob a liquor store or something, and my grandfather like smoked the guy and stole his gun. So that's my headcanon. Don't highly doubt it's true, but that's my personal headcanon. Yeah, I'm just gonna completely bow out of this one. But yeah. Oh yeah. So to illustrate my grandfather being a really good shot was because he was teaching my uncle how to shoot a gun, and he got this rifle. And of course, my grandfather wasn't going to buy a target or anything like that, so he just got a glass pop bottle, put it on a branch that was sticking up, broken branch was sticking up, and I was trying to demonstrate to my uncle how to shoot. So my uncle starts trying to shoot this pop bottle, and of course my grandfather's doing the whole, this is how you aim and everything like that. And my uncle just couldn't hit the bottle. So my grandfather takes the gun and goes, no, it's okay, I'll show you. Takes the gun, everything like that. And first shot, bang! Takes the bottom of the pop bottle clean off. No worries, no issues. Oh, we'll call on that. Made a little bit of cash. Hands it back to my uncle. Hands the gun back to my uncle. Okay, now you try. Yeah, shoots. Can't hit it. I do not like this hand. Let's do it anyway. Can't shoot this thing. My grandfather takes the gun, explains it to him again, takes aim, pulls the trigger, boom. And takes out the middle of the bottle. One shot. Pop, gone. Hands the gun back to my uncle. Still can't shoot it. Grandfather takes the rifle, bang! And finishes off the bottle. Keep in mind, by that point, it was just like the little nub of what was left on the bottle. So, but yeah. But anyway, my grandfather was in the military, and the day the war ended, he had heard that his brother, my great uncle, had passed away. Oh. Yeah. Well, considering I had a pair of nines. So he finds out, okay, war's over, and he's walking down the street. And as he's walking down the street, he sees a familiar face. It's his brother. Brother he thought who had died. And apparently he too had also heard that my grandfather had passed away. Now, that's already an incredible story, but out of everywhere to be in the world, what town did they happen to be in? Fucking Amsterdam! I cannot think of a town that I would rather be in. Although apparently they're trying to change some of the laws in Amsterdam. Oh, 300 to call. I don't like, but... King? No. Oh shit, it's back to me. Check. Well, at least I'm not in last place. I'm just gonna fold. Now I think it's good. It's actually a good time to tell a story about me. So, full transparency with you guys, I'm not a huge drinker nowadays. I don't mind drinking once in a while, having a few beers with some friends, or, you know, having a cold one just to relax after a long day, that kind of thing. You know. But my days of drinking excessively are behind me, I think. You know, maybe once in a while, on a very special occasion, I will. But that was not always the case. Far from it. What was the case was I used to be a very, very, very heavy drinker. You know what? Let's raise a little bit more. Oof. All in to raise. Oh, I don't want to do this. Nope. No, thank you. So, one night went with a few friends. Well, actually, sorry. I went to a friend's house with another friend. They knew each other, so it wasn't like just a random thing. And he was having... Yeah, no, not on this end. Thank you very much. He was having a kegger. And it was so fucking funny because the keg had been there for about a half hour by the time we got there, but it wasn't tapped yet because nobody could figure out how to tap the damn thing. It took me like 5 minutes. It was literally done. It was so funny. So I became beer man because I was the one who figured it out. They had it. We had it sitting in a big vat of ice so that everything stayed cool. But and just so that you're aware, if you get yourself a keg and everything like that, when you tap it, you do have to be very careful about the first drink and a half that you pour, because that first drink and a half is probably not going to taste the best. But I sure as fuck drank it. I didn't give a rat's ass. I really did not give a rat's ass. Not at that stage of my life. No siree. But, so I was the one that was literally pouring all the beer, which meant I drank more beer than anybody. Because it was basically becoming one of those, one for you, one for me, one for you, one for me. Like Homer Simpson when he is at the science fair and sees the gas-powered car. Or the beer-powered car. So, I got really fucking drunk. Like, oh, and there were jello shots and all different types of hard liquor. Like, crazy amounts of alcohol, period. So, I got really fucked up. Like, really fucked up. And while we were there, now I was supposed to be spending the night at my friend's house, the friend that I brought with me. While we're there, there's another friend that we bump into. As fucked up as I was, he was more fucked up. Keep in mind, I was a much bigger guy, and I think he was trying to keep up with me. To be completely fair and transparent on that. So, and my friend was also really fucked up. I was the only one that could walk. Barely, but I could walk. So I'm basically trying to carry these two guys back to my buddy's place. Fortunately, it was just about, like, a little bit more than a block away from the party. So it was fine. I get them both home. And then, of course, what happens? The dreaded morning after hangover. Now, I actually wasn't that hungover. And I think the main reason was because before I had fallen asleep, I had drank so much water. I actually woke up in the middle of the night just to pee because I had chugged, I think, like 1.5 liters of water. Shit, I should have stuck around. Oh well. But yeah, about 1.5 liters of water I chugged. So, that's fine. We're, slowly getting up the next day, stumbling around, everything like that. And the guy even sounds like the penguin. I just keep hearing that wah, wah, wah. So my buddy's mom comes downstairs. We're in the basement. He had like a split level, but they had the whole place. Oh, I really don't want to call this. But I do have a decent hand. But I don't want to call this. But I have a decent hand. But I don't want to call this. What's this guy gonna do? If he calls it, I'm gonna, yeah, I'm out. I am out. Thank you very much. So anyway, his mom comes down, and just kind of sees us all, you know, in that fog and that haze and everything like that. And she goes, would either of you, would you guys like any liver sausage? Now, my buddy, whose place this was, had not really woken up yet. And what she was referring to was liverwurst sausage. I'd never heard it referred to that, but, you know. And if you're wondering, if you're sitting there going, that's disgusting, you're technically not wrong. It is very much an acquired taste, but I am Scottish. We eat far worse things. So, my response is that like liverwurst sausage? And she's like, yeah. And the other guy goes, what the hell is that? Well, my buddy just wakes up randomly and just looks at him and goes, you're not a man until you've eaten liver sausage. And then just immediately passes back out. I was not aware of that rule. I thought I became a man at 18. Turned out I've been a man since I was like 12, so, you know, good to know. What's the 4 and a 2? Nah. Ooh, what's gonna happen here? Nope, fold. Alright. Ooh. You know what? Bucket. Definitely not the smartest move I've made tonight, but I need to make some money. I'm limping here, so... Well, I made a better choice than he did, at least. No more diamonds. No more diamonds, please. No more diamonds. Okay. Scared the hell out of me there. But we doubled our money. We're still low man on the totem pole, but we made some money, so... That's good. Whew. Nope. Alright. Ah, I got another good little story for you guys. This is just a random encounter kind of thing. I think everybody kind of like... No, maybe not everybody, but I think a lot of people have kind of like weird random encounters where like they meet a famous person, but other people don't seem to recognize that person. Anyway, years and years and years ago, I was working at a mall, and there was a comedy club at the mall. And, I happened, and, you know, being an avid comedy fan, I knew who was performing. It was Tom Green that was performing. Now, I am a fan of Tom Green. I think he's actually quite funny. I don't think he gets the praise and the intent. Hang on one second. sure. So I happened to see this guy, and this was just when Tom Green was like starting to grow out his beard. So a lot of people didn't really recognize him anyway, but he was also wearing like long coat, everything like that. Really trying to like, blend in. So he's walking through the mall and he's got this big ass coat on and a hat, and I recognized him. And I just very, very like subtly kind of like got close to him, and I was just like, "Hey Tom, just want to say I really like your stuff." And that was it. That was the whole interaction. I didn't want to because I could tell he didn't want to bring any attention to himself, that kind of thing. But I just wanted to kind of be like, I see you there. And it's not very often I get to meet somebody famous. Like the only other, no, that's not true. I had a very brief encounter with Wayne Gretzky when I was super young. And I'm actually annoyed with myself about it because I did not realize how momentous of an occasion it was to meet fucking Wayne Gretzky. But I met Wayne Gretzky. And super nice guy, by the way. And it was really just like a passing kind of thing. I think he was with his daughter at the time. Either that or some pretty young female. And it was just one of those just kind of like passing by. Hey, hi. Let's do all in, I guess. Don't really want to. Hang on. Brain fog. What we got? Ooh, not bad. I'm okay with this. Almost at my buy-in. And the only other celebrity that I've ever met was Mick Foley. And what a fucking awesome dude Mick Foley is. Like, holy, I will never... First and foremost, he is a big part of the reason why I am as crazy as I am when I'm doing stand-up, like with my fire reading and stuff like that. He's a big part of that reason because, as he put it, he can't be, carved out of granite like a lot of other wrestlers, and he can't do that kind of thing. He's just not physically gifted in that way. So he has to do other things to set himself apart. And that's literally the whole premise of how I do my show, is that I have to set myself apart. I know where everybody else is. I'm not saying I can be better than them. Far from it. As a matter of fact, there's some fucking absolutely hysterical stand-up comics that I know personally. And, but can I do something different? And there are magicians that I know too. Handily. There's a guy, quick shout out. There's a guy I know, Chris Gowan. Handily. Like, he's the type of person I would love to see on Penn and Teller Fool Us. I don't know what he would do. I really, really have no clue what he would do to try and fool them. But he would have, like, he would have a good fucking time doing it. I don't know if he'd do it. So, again, so he would be like, again, no idea what he would pull out of his hat to try and win, like to try and beat them, but it would be a good fucking show. It would be a good show. Nobody gonna call me? Okay. Ace 2, I got ace 10. But I don't like the fact that you have hearts. Well, they're suited. No more hearts, please. It was the 10, literally fucking saved my bacon on that one. Holy shit, I'm in first place now. I just been rambling on and I made it to first. Wow. Okay, we gotta work on keeping this lead now. Um, um, uh, fold that. Wow, okay. McFoley. That's what I was gonna talk about. Met McFoley. So it was a paid meet and greet kind of thing. And man, like I only got a few minutes with the guy. Ooh, that's an interesting standoff. Don't look. Oh. 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 But yeah, absolutely fucking awesome dude. I only had about 15-20 minutes to actually like sit there and hang out. I have a picture. It's on my Instagram. But man, sorry, I'm still flabbergasted right now. No, thank you. Not on a Jack 3. Thank you very much. Well, the chances of him getting a Jack are low because I got the Jack. Oof. Holy shit.
Come on.
Holy shit. Well, I made it into the top 3. $6.10, huh? This sucks for me. Only thing that can really save me right now is a 7 and an 8. That's neither a 7 nor an 8. Wow, I'm slightly impressed with myself. Especially considering that person's a gold standard player, so... You know, that's pretty intense. I'd try to get into the lead. That is a bad hand. Call is 1K. Nope. No, thank you. Are you gonna try to chip bully us now? Have a good one, Mike. Potential. I think she's basically just folding on everything. Yeah, no thank you. This asshat. Mr. the Skinny. Okay, I am big blind, so I'm going to definitely call, providing this guy doesn't go all in yet again. You're going to catch yourself one of these days, buddy. I'm just waiting for some nice high cards, some nice suited high cards. Yuck. He's just going to try and chip away at our stacks here. Because he knows even if we beat him, we're still not going to have much. Alright. Not ideal, but... Motherfucker. Okay, what we got? Okay, if she's going all in... King 6. Well, risk it for the biscuit. Let's see what we got. Interesting standoff. Ah, oh, you got this. You got the 5. Now I'm very much low stack. Well played. You well played it. It'd be hilarious to see them go all in as well, and then like everybody gets knocked out all at once. It's not looking too good for me. Although they're not playing very aggressively at all, so maybe it is looking good for me. Whoa, yep, she won. I don't think she realized what she had. Well, came in third place. I kind of want to see what's going to happen here. So, I'm going to say to you guys, thank you so very much for watching. Just to be on the safe side, after my thank you for watching thing, I will put in who wins if it doesn't end right here, right now. But, yeah, thank you all so very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed this little excursion into poker. And for the next game we're playing, next month is October, so it's going to be something a little spooky. And I think we finally found our winner. Yep. Not bad at all. I don't like the fact that he was a chip bully, but anyway, again, thank you so much for watching. And as always, always remember, don't do anything I wouldn't do. You should probably stay away from most of the things I would do. And until next time, take care.